There are a lot of crazy ideas and misconceptions about Jeepers Creepers and the Creepers truck, and we are going to tell you the truth about all of it. Now, today's video is awesome, dispelling myths and setting records straight. But first, we have some exciting news to share with you. Now, as most of you know, this is the 23rd year since the Creeper was in Poho County. So we texted up Jonathan Breck and we were like, dude, we need to do an interview. And he said yes. But it's even cooler than that, because I think we've devised a way to bring a lot of you along in that interview process. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Also, before we begin this video, let me qualify myself and tell you how I know about Jeepers Creepers and the Creepers truck. We have owned one of the original trucks since 2008, and the truck worked in Jeepers Creepers and Jeepers Creepers 3. We restored the truck, and during that restoration, we reached out to all of the important people, and we found out all the facts that we needed to know to restore the truck, and many other things that had to do with the movies. The truck worked again in Jeepers Creepers 3, and so did we. We were there for the entire process. There are so many misconceptions and questions people have about the Creepers truck, we decided to make a video to address them once and for all. We all need one list of comprehensive facts. Some of these you've probably heard, others you may have missed. Fans are really good about answering these questions when they have the right answers. We are going to read questions about the Creepers truck that we have accumulated, and we're going to answer them as quickly and as precisely as we can. If you have questions that aren't addressed in this video, please leave them in the comments and we will be happy to answer those. What kind of truck is it? The Creepers truck is a 1941 Chevrolet cab-over engine 1.5 ton truck. It was originally a flatbed, and the franchise turned it into a box truck to accommodate the script. Did they really use 3 trucks to film Jeepers Creepers? The answer is yes. Whereas this may seem like a little bit of overkill, it really isn't. You always have to have a functioning truck, and if one needs modifications or one isn't running, it's far too costly. So they had 3 trucks to make sure that they always had a truck ready. Where did the Creeper get his truck? We did a full video on this, and if you want to check that out, take a look at this video. There's no documentation about this in any of the movies, but we suspect he stole it, and we think this happened in 1955. How does the Creeper know how to drive? He was once human, and we think he's probably smart enough to figure it out. But there was speculation online that when he devours a victim, he may gain their knowledge. This is an interesting thought. Maybe. Where does the Creeper get personalized license plates, and does he stand in line at the DMV? We recently did a video on this. If you'd like to see it, check this out. We suspect that he made his plates. He's an artist and he has the talent to do it. And there's no way he's spending any time in line at the DMV. What does a Creeper's license plate mean? Most of us, when we're watching the film, we initially think it says beating you.
Beating you? That's mine! That's 3 to 5!
But eventually, as time goes on, it becomes apparent that it really means be eating you. Where does the Creeper get gas? Okay, this is an easy one. We know he's not paying for it. The Creeper takes everything he wants. Now, whether this is at some remote farm gas tank somewhere, or maybe it's at a gas station and someone's already paid and he throws them out of the way and pumps their gas on their card. One thing's for sure, he's not paying for gas. What happens if the Creeper's truck breaks down? Does he call a tow truck? Of course he doesn't. We've seen the Creeper move things with his mind. It's likely he could move the truck to a remote location where it wouldn't be discovered. What happens if the Creeper gets pulled over? In Jeepers Creepers 3, we see him evade the police, so it's likely he wouldn't stop. But if he did, that would be some pretty gruesome body cam footage. How does the Creeper maintain his truck? We believe the Creeper has a lot of time on his hands during the 23 years that he's unable to feed, so we think that he would have plenty of time to keep his truck tip-top. What's more, if you're only using your truck for 23 days every 23 years, we're not sure how much maintenance it would need. How does the Creeper get his truck smogged? A 1941 Chevrolet does not need smog certification. Does the Creeper have to get his truck inspected? If the Creeper is hunting in a state where vehicle inspections are mandatory, we don't think he would comply. Why does the Creeper even drive a truck if he can fly? The Creeper drives a truck for 3 reasons. He uses his truck to carry a great number of bodies at one time.
Slaughterhouse on wheels.
He also uses his truck to conceal his identity, and he uses his truck to scare his victims so he can smell their fear. Where does the Creeper keep his truck when he's hibernating for 23 years? We believe the Creeper is not hibernating for 23 years, but that he is awake and just can't feed. We also believe his truck is with him so that he can be putting booby traps on it and preparing it for his next 23-day feeding period. Why was the Creeper's truck absent from Jeepers Creepers 2? Technically, it's because all of the trucks were scrapped after the filming of Jeepers Creepers. But in the Jeepers universe, we spend a lot of time at the bus during Jeepers Creepers 2, and we feel like the truck was probably parked nearby collecting bodies as the Creeper took them. What kind of horn does the Creeper's truck have? Originally, none of the trucks had a horn, and that menacing voice you hear coming from the truck is actually dubbed in post. It was created using many different sounds, and according to the director, even had Godzilla's voice in it. How does the Creeper's truck repel bullets? Is it an armored car? Is it bulletproof? The Creeper's truck is just made of regular metal, glass, and a good supply of rust. The Creeper has powers, and he is able to repel the bullets from his truck and actually send them back to those that are shooting him. Our only question is, why wasn't the Creeper able to repel bullets from himself when Teshtego was shooting the Mini at him? Alright, let's stop for a second. I'm so excited. Let's talk about this interview process with Jonathan. Now, we have secured this exclusive interview, and it will be happening very soon. This is going to be an interview unlike any you've ever seen before, because again, you have a chance to be a part of it. Now, I'm not sure how many submissions we're going to get, but one thing I do know for sure, this is going to be epic. Now, there are two parts to this. One, you can send a short message to Jonathan in the form of a video and tell him anything you'd like to. The second part is you can submit an interview question, and you can submit that right here in the comments, or you can send it to BEATNGU email. Now, this isn't all about us. This is largely about Jonathan and telling him how much we love and appreciate him and his contribution to the Jeepers universe. So the first thing to do is share this. Share it with your friends, share it on other platforms, and let's get Jonathan a bunch of video responses and comments. Your message may be chosen to be a part of our YouTube video. Now, only submit a video if you want your image and your message on YouTube. If you submit an interview question, you might be lucky enough to have your question chosen to be a part of the interview process, where Jonathan would respond to your question directly. Let's jump back to the video and we'll talk about the rules in just a minute. Now we're going to go over some of the misconceptions that are out there about the Creeper's truck. The first misconception that we hear frequently is that these are old military ambulances, or that they use the box off of old military ambulances to make the Creeper trucks. This isn't true. All of these trucks started life as flatbeds, and the company in 2001 built the boxes on the back of the trucks from scratch. They did such a good job and they looked so factory that it fooled a lot of people into thinking they were old military ambulances, which did have a similar look. Misconception number 2. This is a truck from the 30s. It is not. It is a 1941 Chevrolet COE. Misconception number 3. Most of the Chevy trucks in 1941 came with a 6-cylinder, but you could get a 4-cylinder if you wanted one. This is not true. All Chevy trucks in 1941 came with a 216 straight 6 overhead valve engine. Misconception number 4. The truck that was used in Jeepers Creepers 3 belongs to a collector in Maryland who rents it out to conventions and shows. This isn't true. There is a collector from Maryland who did have one of the original Creeper trucks, and he has subsequently sold that truck to Troy, who does take it around to shows and conventions. The truck that was used in Jeepers Creepers 3 belongs to us, and it was never in the hands of a collector from Maryland. Misconception number 5. The truck in Jeepers Creepers that was used for the chase scenes had a souped-up engine. Now, we are told this in the bonus disc by the director, but it isn't true. He probably thought that the engine was souped up, but it wasn't. It was a stock small block Chevy 350. Now, this was an upgraded engine for the truck, and it did go fairly fast, and it could catch the Impala. But it certainly wasn't souped up. And as a matter of fact, during the filming of Jeepers Creepers, the vehicles all ran poorly. Misconception number 6. They settled on a 1941 Chevrolet COE because of budget. Where do these people grow? This could not be further from the truth. First of all, they looked for months and couldn't find anything and turned down dozens of trucks until they found this 1941 Chevrolet COE which was perfect to land in Derry's rearview mirror. Not only that, but even in 2001, these trucks were rare enough that they sold for a pretty good price. And on top of all of that, if that isn't enough, they actually increased their budget need because they were going to have to build the boxes on the back of 3 trucks. Misconception number 7. The truck doesn't even have a motor. It just moves supernaturally. Now, we've heard this more than once, and it isn't true. In both Jeepers Creepers and Jeepers Creepers 3, you can clearly hear a motor, so we know it is using the motor. The truck does move supernaturally, but evidently that is done in part with the motor. Misconception number 8. There's no way that old truck could have caught that 1960 Chevy. Yes, it absolutely could have. It's clear that the Creeper has made his truck a lot faster. He probably did this by stealing another hot rod and moving the necessary pieces over to his truck to make it fast. Misconception number 9. The weapons in the truck make no sense because they weren't there in the first movie. Of course they were there in the first movie. It's the same time period. Now, why didn't we see them in the first movie? Because the Creeper wasn't hunting with his truck and he wasn't protecting himself. The Creeper was using his cow catcher to run the kids off the road, and that's all that we saw. Just because we didn't see those weapons in Jeepers Creepers doesn't mean that they weren't there. That's a fallacy. Misconception number 10, and another brilliant statement. All of the money from Jeepers Creepers 3 went into the truck's weapons. This could not be further from the truth. A matter of fact, people didn't like the weapons in the truck because not enough of the budget was allocated to showing the weapons properly. Very little money in Jeepers Creepers 3 went toward the weapons or toward the truck. There are so many misconceptions about the Creeper's truck out there. If we did not answer your question, please submit it in the comments and we will be happy to answer that question for you. Now let's talk about the rules for our interview with Jonathan. These rules are important, so please listen carefully. A full set of the rules is going to be listed in the video description. All messages to Jonathan Breck must be in video format. Video submissions must be horizontal or landscape, not vertical. Set your smartphone or camera to 1080-60. Keep your message short, approximately 10 seconds or less, and make it interesting and be creative. Upload instructions will be in the description as well. If you are going to submit a video message to Jonathan, you must comment on this video, "Jonathan is amazing." Rules for submitting an interview question are easy. Just present your question in the comments here or send it to BEATNGU email, tom@thecreepertruck.com. To keep it organized, only one interview question suggestion per comment. You can submit as many comments as you would like. Well, we are super excited to connect you, the biggest fans, with Jonathan. Please submit those interview questions. Please submit videos. Please like and subscribe. And a huge thank you to all of our subscribers for helping this family to grow. Until next time, we'll see you.
All units. Anybody else getting some